Hi, I'm Mike Meisler. My wife and I own and operate Rafter M Training Stables here in Thayer, Missouri. And the first thing I'd like to say is it is nothing but an honor for us to be selected to be part of this Art of the Horseman Fair. What we do is we specialize in gaited trail horses. Our mission here is to keep people safe on these trail rides. Trail riding pretty much dominates the horse industry if you really want to know. Most of the people out here trail ride and use their horses for recreational purposes. And a lot of us are getting older, so naturally we're going to gaited horses for a smoother ride. Now, our number one goal, like I said, is to keep everybody safe on these gaited horses. The number one problem we have with any horse of any breed, honestly, is those horses do not have a foundation on them. And what do I mean when I say foundation? I mean taking the stiffness and resistance and the abrasiveness out of a horse before we ever get on them. We get a soft, supple, willing partner to go with us. Now, a lot of that is some simple groundwork deals that we do. And what we're doing on this video is we're showing you exactly what we do to our horses. And this mare here is a 4-year-old fox-trotting mare named Sunny. She knows all this stuff. So rather than having a horse out here that don't know nothing, we're going to use her and let you see how all this stuff works on a finished horse. And then we'll go on later into a horse that don't know. And you'll find all the trouble you have. So anyway, as far as the basic groundwork goes, what I like to do is get my horses out here and kind of desensitize them with my rope. The main goal here is for a horse to stand here and just let that rope come around her and not flinch. All right? I'll even go around their feet. How many of you have been on a trail ride and got hung up in grapevines and things like that? I was with some friends and we done that one time and the old horse just come unwound and exploded. It's a dangerous situation. So I always like to do as much as I can with their feet. Whatever I do on one side, I do the other. So there you go. Another thing I like to do is just desensitize my horse. Just swing ropes around. You know, tap the ground. Just anything you can do to expose your horse is going to help you. But this here's a big thing I do. I'll just use my rope. A lot of people will use a stick or a string, but I'll just back up here and I'll start taking this rope and just flop it from side to side. That is a really big thing for a horse, to have something flying over their head, bouncing on each side of them. Okay, and as you can tell, it don't bother Sonny. Another huge deal that I like to do is get a horse's hind end broke loose. And how I'll do that, and if you notice I don't have a stick with me. I am not opposed to sticks and strings. But every time I'm out here working, it seems like when I need my stick and string, I don't have it. So what I've done is I've just gotten really used to using my lead rope. So what I like to do is get down here, look at the hind end, step around here, and just tell her. See, all I had to do was swing that rope. And she went ahead and got out of the way. Right there. Okay? I like to get that hind end broke. Now what's happening when we're doing this, if you'll see this horse is bent? Most of your problems come from the rib cage. Your rib cage gets stiff. Okay? Doing these simple exercises of bending and moving the horse around will get the rib cage broken loose. Another big thing, when you do the rear end, I always like to do the front end. You know, get her to move that front end around. Come here. And as you can tell, Sonny's done this a time or two. Now there she kind of walked around with her buddy, but we're not getting down here to perfect deals right now. But as you can see, she knows the concept and all that. A lot of times, whenever you go on a trail ride, your horse is fresh and you're at a strange place. Okay? Strange horses around and everything, and the horse is kind of fresh. Whenever we go on trail rides, I like to take and lunge mine a little bit. You know, just move them around. And as you can see here, she's going around me, and she's not really pulling on me very much. That's because the horse is what I like to call soft and supple and light. Okay? And that there is just lunging level 1. Be able to stop, look at that hind end and push it away. Those are reasons why we disengage the hind end. So we can look at that and push it away. So now we'll ask her to go the other way. And she takes off. How many of you seen people doing this and that horse was dragging them from one end of this barn to the other? It's not very enjoyable. That's why I like to get my horses soft. And that way when they feel that pressure, they get off of it. That there is going each way on lunging level 1. I also like to step it up, step in front of its eye, change directions, all in one motion. Because what's happening? The ribs having to bend, and she's having to turn on her hind end and get away from me. You know. Now, here's another thing. I do not wear horses out before I get on them. I'm not going to come out here and lunge her and run her around me for an hour until she's just wore out and I can get on her and ride her off. So there's another exercise I really like to do, and it works the horse a lot harder. It gets the horse bending. It's called basically direct and drive or the sending exercise or whatever you want to call it. Now, I'll come over here to a wall and hold up my direction hand and just have her move over here. Here's your big thing, folks. These are simple exercises to do. I mean, if you can't ask your horse to walk over here and turn and face you, what makes you think you're going to be able to get on them and ride them? The problem is a lot of people do not do the simplest things with their horses, and yet they get on them and ride them. You cannot believe how many horses have come in this barn that people have bought as finished trail horses. Ladies and gentlemen, they do not know what this horse here knows. They have not had a foundation put on it. Foundation is what's going to keep you safe. A foundation is what's going to keep you from getting hurt. A foundation could very well save your life. So, these are just some of the things that I harp on. And just doing things like that. And as you can see, her body's bending. She has to stop. She has to start, bend, stop, go. You know, those are just a lot of working body works, what I call those exercises. They're body work. So, the other big thing that I always do on my foundation work is backing the horse up. The greatest respect your horse can give you is backing up. Because, folks, in the wild, they don't back up. They do not back up. So what I want is a soft, fluid reverse. Now what I'll do here is shake my rope a little bit, twirl, and look at the point of that shoulder right there, and my horse back up. Okay? Do you see there's no abrasiveness? Do you see the head doesn't come up? How many of you seen those horses dragging those front feet backwards and their heads looking up here at the sky? Those horses are not soft. Those horses are resisting you. They're braced up against you. They're not wanting to give. Whenever you get true softness and things like that, there you go, come on. See how easy? The horse is not upset. We do not want to get our horses upset. You know, the main thing we want is to keep our horses calm. Okay? Keep our horses calm. Now what we have run into here is we can get our horses calm. The problem is getting our riders calm. Because a lot of people do not have the confidence to ride their horses. That's why we harp on our customers, do the groundwork exercises. Get to know your horse. Get to feel your horse. And things like that. Now, one of the biggest things that I believe in here is a one-rein stop. If you're riding down the trail and a covey of quail blow up in front of you, let me tell you something, folks, that scares me when they do it, let alone your horse. And your horse is going to react because I'd react. The main thing I want people to get in the habit of doing, instead of pulling back with two hands, what happens when you pull back with two hands? You get stiffness from here all the way through the body. What I want you to do is pull their head around and do a one-rein stop. Get control of your horse. In order to do a one-rein stop, your horse has got to be soft. Your horse has got to be supple. And I'm going to explain the word supple, because I went for a big portion of my life hearing that word and thinking, oh yeah, well, it's got to be supple, but I didn't really know what it meant. When you've got a horse supple, what that is you are having him move gracefully with his body bent. That is supple, okay? So that's what we got to have our trail horses, especially our gaited trail horses. Because when I talk about gaited trail horses, everything I've talked about throughout this video right now, for the most part of the gaited horse industry, I might as well be speaking Chinese, because they don't do it. And I am going to do it. And I'm going to have a safe, reliable trail horse. Now, the next exercise that I'm going to do pertaining to that, you have got to get your horses where they will flex. Now, I want you to look at this. I've just got a hold of that with my thumb and my middle and my index finger. And I pull her around and she comes around here and touches her side. You know, you've got to get these horses soft where when they feel that pressure, they come around and touch their side. What you do on one side, you must do on the other. You know, come here, right there. Now, a lot of times if they want to get lazy, I'll sit here and take and kind of bump them a little bit. You know, say, hey, get off that, come up here. And do it. As far as I'm concerned, you cannot do that too much. I've seen some things around on these one-rein stops and things and the flexing. People didn't like it, but here's your deal. The flexing is the foundation of a soft, supple animal. The flexing is the foundation of you staying safe. Okay? So, these right here are just some of the simplest things that we do, but every one of them is very important as the other one is. Now, for the last thing that I really like to do is what I call a circle drive. Okay? And what the circle drive consists of is I've got a stick here and it's 4 foot long. All right? The stick is basically to keep the horse off of me and to ask for impulsion and going forward. Now, you take a lot of horses. They don't want you on one side or the other. Okay, they'll be pulling away from you. Like if you go that right side, they'll pull away. Or you go the left side, they're pulling away. They're always kind of goosey if you're on one side. Horses that are really spooky is another one. Okay, if you will get your horses where you can circle drive them, I swear to you, it's going to take care of a lot of problems you have. And this right here is what I want. See, I'm just tapping her with that stick saying, here, come on up here. Notice I'm keeping my belly button away from her. And the reason I'm doing that, because if I'd turn into her, I'd drive her away. Because that's how she's been trained. Now, what you do on one side, you do on the other. So now I'm going to sit here and look at that hind end, push it away. This is circle driving level 1. You know. And you don't want it herky-jerky. You want her just to come up here and get to walking with you. And things like that. The circle driving will actually help you on horses that you're lunging that are pulling on you all the time. Because you have more leverage here. You have more control. If you want to step this up to a level 2, I can show you how to do that. You'll sit here and do the exact same thing. But what you need to do is have a little bit of hand, rein, coordination, and stick. What I'll do is I'll stop. Drop that stick right there, push the hind end away, and say, come on up here. And get her to turn around in one fluid motion. And a lot of horses, when you do that, it gets them upset. They're going, what are you doing? But as you can see, it is not getting this mare upset. See, I'm pushing her away with my body. and my eyes looking at that hind end. So, guys, these are just some of the things that everybody that trail rides needs to have their horses able to do. These are great, great foundation exercises. And as you can tell how the horse acts, her head's down, her ears are forward. She's kind of sitting here paying attention to me, but she's not all looking all over the place and all this and that. We have her attention. These are the things that we're begging you to stay safe. Let us help you. There's a lot more foundation tips coming for whenever we saddle them up. So stay tuned, and if there's anything we can do, feel free to contact us.